I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a great day, and I'm so very excited to be here. Let me tell you something. We have the author's edition today. You guys know I love authors, but we just got a special author today with a special little package, and I'm just so excited for her. So we have the author of Divine Beauty in Words. It's a bilingual book, and her name is Michelle. Welcome to the show.
Yay. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So tell us about yourself.
About well, I've been writing poetry over 10 years. And actually when I was in 5th grade, I was writing poetry, but I didn't realize that I had the gift of writing constantly because it was just a task from our English teacher to write something, and I would just write poetry. And after that, it kind of like stopped until high school. My English teacher, she gave us this project on my senior year of high school. She told us, you guys are going to perform in class, without reading it. You can either sing a song or say a poem. And for some reason, I just got excited. And I believe it was the spirit inside of me, the spirit of God. Because at the time I was already, hungry for him. So being hungry for him, gave me that joy whenever my English teacher gave us that project. And 2 days later, I wrote this beautiful poem, and I was like, wow, this poem sounds great to share for my class, and from then on, I shared it to the class, and not just to the class, but to the youth group of my church. From then on, like, it was a moment where it just became very special for me and the people around. And I did see and I felt how like girls were just so touched by the poem. And it was only God knew what he had in store for me after that moment. And I can see why now. And from then on, I just wrote nonstop. And it was like just, poetry being revealed to me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Most young women and men don't admit they like poetry. They, it's kind of like one of those things. Oh, yeah, I don't like poetry, but they'll like snap. You know what I mean? They'll snap for it. But I just, learning poetry back in, high school and in elementary school and all that, how has that affected you in your adulthood?
Well, really, learning poetry, it was more like revelation. And so when I learned about that, I had that gift, it was something special for me. And the second person was something special for my mom, and so like a mom and a daughter can relate. So she knowing that I had that gift was kind of even more special for me too, because I was able to share that with her and other people around me. So it affected me in a really positive way. Um, Spiritually connecting with God, and also connecting, me being in in place where other people are standing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right. Did it help you in any kind of way? I mean, writing down on paper, being verbal, did that help you in any kind of way with maybe some tribulations that you went through, some ups and downs in high school
oh
and
yeah,
now?
oh yeah, definitely. Like I de- most definitely, it did help me. It also was like a way of expressing um what I felt, about God. And also like whenever I was going through a tribulation, like almost actually 10 years ago, I wrote like probably 1,000 poems during the summer.
Mm.
And it was, so that poetry was kind of to, in that summertime, that poetry that I wrote was more like venting as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also like rebuking evil.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, overcoming what I was going through. So it does help me a lot as well.
That's wonderful. And I see you have the book. I see you have a copy of your book right there. That thing is thick, girl.
Yeah, so actually, Authors Tranquility Press has sent me quite a lot of copies for author copies. And I've
That's
been
kind of cool.
kind of grateful for that too.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see how thick that book is. Put that up.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, girlfriend. It is beautiful though. I love the cover of it. And it's
Thank
just
you.
wonderful. Writing all of that, how long did that take you to write that many poems?
So the poetry, there's 59 poems. I originally wrote them in English. And so I already had the poetry since 2010.
Mhm.
2010 through 2012, I wrote 22 poems in like 2 years or a year and a half. I'm sorry, no, I said it backwards. And like in 22 months, I wrote those 59 poems.
Mhm.
And so I already had the poetry in paper. And but like putting it into a book, into a manuscript, it took me 2 years. Because I was working full time, and also because apart from just the poetry, I added reflections, and I added the biblical text from the Bible.
Mhm.
I added 21 pages where I invite my readers to write or draw,
I got
about the poem, or like about how they feel towards God related to the poem.
you. Mhm.
Um, and there's also quotes. So all of those things were added between those 2 years. And also because my book is also like in color. I don't
Mhm.
know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the color also like was very um a lot of multitasking. Like I wanted them to match, the grading colors a lot. Let me just like go. Let me show you.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna do it backwards because I'm like the other way. So here are my contents. As
Uh-huh.
you can see, they're kind of like bluish for the English contents.
Okay. And then
And
it's
then
red.
it's red for like the Spanish.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And so whenever it comes to like the Spanish titles, they're in red, like with that font. And also for the English, they're bluish
Uh-huh.
gradient with the font too, same font. And these are like, about the author, things, a word of thanks, things like that before you begin the actual first poem.
Mm.
So there's a lot of coloring going on as well, for quotes and for the reflections
Mhm.
as well. As you can see,
Yeah.
my quotes is bold and it's in green. So all of that took me 2 years.
Mhm.
I believe if I would have finished it in 1 year, I would have not come up with more ideas of how to make my book so great from the inside and the
Right.
outside.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. And you take your time, take your time, get it right, right? So that you're happy with it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I am
Definitely.
happy.
That is
Most
good. That is good. Are you writing another book?
Oh no, not well. I do have the poetry set aside like a notebook, but if I'm working on it on manuscript, I am not, because right now my focus will be this book to
Okay.
get it out there, to get it known by other people.
Hmm. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. What is your writing process though? I mean, how do you write your poetry? I mean, do you just sit down and just write, or do you have a method?
It depends. Both actually. So the poetry that's in here, it was spontaneously. Like I would just be doing something randomly, and the poetry will come to me. Like, and I'll be like, oh, this poem is good. I need to write it right now. So I would just grab like a paper and a notebook, which I have notebooks of it. And so that's how they will come in. And in another way that I will write poetry, would be like for an event, like, it could be for like Mother's Day. If someone tells me, um, come up with a poem for Christmas or Mother's Day? I'm like, yeah. So that's when I actually decide on my own, okay, let me just begin writing with a poem. And versus the other way would be spontaneously, which
Mhm.
is in my book. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Did we miss anything today?
Let me see. Well, there's a lot of my book and a lot of me about the poetry. Um, but what my poetry is about, actually, I have it here. I made a flyer too about my poetry.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, and let me just share that with you. So, what is
Yeah.
this book about? It's revelations in poetry. More than half of the poems in this book are based on revelations where it reveals God's coming kingdom, the beginning of the end of times, his judgment, the acknowledgement of his divine person, and a divine never ending joy that awaits. So
Nice.
that's what my book is about.
Well,
And
would you like to recite one of your poems?
of course, yes,
Okay.
definitely do that. And with a lot of heart. So there's a lot of topics that could be like, God's divine person. Let me see. There's so many good poems. Like sometimes I'm like, which one do I share? And I'm like, oh, this is good. And then the other one is good. Yeah. And I have a love poem here too.
Mm.
This one is good. Defeating the injurious. Um, Tasting freedom. That poem, this poem is good too. Um, Let me see, which one do I share? There's sheets upon my hands. Okay, I can share this one. It says, it's called Magnifying Beauty. It's
Okay.
called, and it goes like this. Life is so defective. Earthly beings, they need liberation every morning. Love must be uncontainable. Can someone please admire us? Oh, my Lord. The owner of my soul has the key to your desires. Almighty is our God, our soul claims for him tonight. My inmost being longs for his love. Tonight, my soul is all his, for forevermore we are his. Come to all your spirit within us. Do not let the wicked defeat us. He is nothing but fear, shame, and he is nothing but a beast. Oh Lord, we aim for your mighty power tonight. Our God is the beginning, and then it was us. We must give it all to him. For when he comes, we may be in celebration at the end of time. When you are frightened, which is every night, go to the Lord of your heart. He has what the heart desires. Better yet, we are one and the same. We must bawl for his presence. Don't you want love? Isn't that why we are still alive? May all the glory be to the God of your soul. Do not let it slip away. Speak up, O soul of yours. With all that is within me, I want God. I refuse not to love him. If I do not love him with all my inmost being, then life is nothing but dust. and my flesh will one day die, but my spirit will go beyond. We need the King of all creation. We distinctively are not good enough. As what the heart tells me what it is, for my God, I never want to step aside. My soul, all it wants to do is praise God in his presence. Within my soul, my heart shouts out of joy, magnifying beauty.
Awesome. 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 I love it. I love it. That is beautiful. It
Thank
was
you.
beautiful. Well, wow. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to put that on another channel as well, because we got another channel where all of the authors will be reciting a little bit from their books. I'm just so excited to start that channel. That channel will be starting very soon. I want to thank you, Michelle, for being on the show, girlfriend. And we're going to put your link to your book on Amazon in the description box below, so it's easy for people to find it and actually go ahead and get that book. You're going to love this book. You're absolutely going to love. If you love poetry, if you're a poetry lover, you're going to love this book. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye.
Thank you.